BKSS 8.0 to be announced tomorrow. Zero bus fare for this upcoming Chinese New Year. Egg supplies are shut and some 27 Syrian smugglers killed by Jordanian military. Those are the headlines for tonight. I'm Hendy Gui and this is TVS Nightline. Chief Minister Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg is expected to launch the Sarawak Kusayang Special Assistance or BKSS 8.0, estimated to be worth over 285 million ringgit on Friday, January 28. The assistance aid was described as one of the largest provided by the state government. According to the Chief Minister's office, the launch is scheduled to take place at Wisma Bapa Malaysia in Petrajaya at 9:30 a.m. On Tuesday, Abang Johari said the BKSS 8.0 relief package would help reduce the burden of those affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Abang Johari reiterated that the state government under Gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS will fulfill the promises as stated in the manifesto. In a statement for the special meeting on the 2022 state budget in October last year, Abang Johari said his administration had decided to continue with some of the key initiatives of the previous packages under BKSS 8.0 for the first 6 months of the year, as well as one-off financial assistance. He said BKSS 8.0 is in line with the 8 strategic thrusts of the 2022 state budget. Now, on a related development, members of the public hopes for a fruitful outcome over the much-anticipated announcement of the BKSS 8.0, especially in assisting many to recover financially following the pandemic. When met, the average recipients have expressed their appreciation to the state government's initiatives.
Kami berharap agar ya dapat membantu lagi lah macam kami orang yang berniaga macam tu, kami pun rasa gembira juga lah sebab dapat bantuan macamnya yang diberi oleh Ketua Menteri Sarawak, Tok Sri Bang Jo.
Kami akan berasa gembira lah dan semoga dapat diteruskan lagi lah itu bantuan. Terima kasih kepada kerajaan sebab dapat membantu kami orang yang memerlukan lah.
For the record, during 2020 and 2021, the state government has implemented 7 assistance packages to the people, namely BKSS 1.0 to BKSS 7.0, with 30 programs involving an expenditure of 5.30 billion ringgit. It is also one of the largest assistances by the state government. The Chief Minister added that the assistance does not include a special allocation amounting to more than 91 million ringgit to the Sarawak State Disaster Management Committee to cover the expenses of dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. 6 families face anxious moment when a landslide took place near their long house in Nangga Ijit, JULAU on Wednesday evening. According to Bintango Fire and Rescue Station Chief Nicolasa Belulind, the landslide was just 2 feet away from the victim's house.
Sepasukan anggota dari Balai Bomba dan Penyelamat Bintango bergegas ke lokasi kejadian selepas menerima panggilan kecemasan pada pukul 7.09 malam. Tiba di lokasi, anggota bomba mendapati berlaku tanah runtuh berhampiran rumah tersebut yang menyebabkan keretakan pada dinding dan siling pada bilik pertama rumah panjang berkenaan. Bilik ini dihuni oleh 6 penghuni iaitu 3 orang dewasa dan 3 orang kanak-kanak, dan difahamkan ketika kejadian kesemua mereka sedang berehat di dalam bilik terbabit.
However, no injuries or casualties were reported. Meanwhile, Nicholas noted that there is a high possibility of reoccurrence of the landslide if the bad weather persists. Therefore, as a safety measure, firefighters have assessed the area to reduce the effects of destruction.
Saya mendesatkan penduduk supaya sentiasa berwaspada serta berpindah sekiranya kejadian semakin tidak selamat. Pada masa yang sama, pemantauan akan terus dijalankan oleh anggota bomba bagi mengesan pergerakan tanah yang dikuatiri mampu mengancam keselamatan penduduk. Setakat ini, tiada penduduk yang dipindahkan dan bomba sudah memaklumkan kejadian itu kepada agensi lain sebagai langkah berjaga-jaga.
On another note, the fire department will continue to monitor the area for safety precaution. Residents of Long Semadoh in Lawas were wakened by tremors from North Kalimantan earthquake at around 5 a.m. on Thursday. Limbang Fire and Rescue Department Chief Awangku Muhammad Hazmin Awang Zainal said the department deployed 4 officials, including an officer, to Long Semadoh upon receiving the distress call regarding the incident.
Lebih kurang jam 8 pagi, Balai Bomba Lawas menerima panggilan dan Ketua Balai diketuai oleh Tuan Azman bergerak ke lokasi yang memakan masa lebih kurang 3 jam. Pihak pemantau daripada Balai Bomba dan Penyelamat Lawas diketuai saya sendiri telah bergegas ke kawasan Long Semadoh untuk menyiasat keadaan sebenarnya dan kita memaklumkan kepada masyarakat setempat agar tidak paniklah dengan keadaan tersebut. Jika ada insiden yang berlaku, boleh telefon Balai Bomba dan Penyelamat Lawas teruslah. Kita ada melakukan perjumpaan juga bersama dengan penghulu kawasan Semadoh, iaitu penghulu Dinis Yahya dan juga penolong kanan kokurikulum SK Long Semadoh, Cikgu Sultan Musa, berkaitan dengan insiden ini.
No untoward incident were reported in the surrounding area where the tremor were felt. With a vision towards Malaysia, a country with 0 road accident deaths, the Malaysian Road Safety Plan, or PKJRM 2022 to 2030, was launched to improve safety and protect the welfare of road users. Transport Minister Dato Sri Dr. Wee Ka Siong said PKJRM 2022 to 2030 emphasized on 10 safety aspects, including effective monitoring and evaluation, safer motorcycle riding, speed management, and safe work travel. Additionally, through PKJRM 2022 to 2030, the Transport Ministry has set a target to achieve a reduction in the number of deaths due to road accidents by at least 50% by 2030, in line with the Resolution 74/299 launched by the United Nations proclaiming the Decade of Action for Road Safety 2021 to 2030.
Dia perlu kita berlipat gandakan usaha kita untuk mencapai sasaran 2030. Kalau 50% daripada 2019 juga, bermaksud kita kena dapat 3,000. Ya? Itu satu cabaran besar. Kita nak melihat bukan saja tindakan penguatkuasaan semata-mata, tetapi tanggungjawab pengguna jalan itu sebagai seorang pemandu yang bertimbang rasa dan sebagainya. Ianya perlu kita diperhebatkan lagi edukasi tentang perkara ini.
Meanwhile, based on statistics from the Royal Malaysia Police PDRM, 418,237 road accidents cases were recorded in 2020, with 4,634 deaths, while 255,532 road accident cases were recorded involving 3,302 fatalities as of September 2021. In the meantime, we said the Ministry through the Road Transport Department JPJ, government agencies, private companies and non-governmental organizations NGOs were committed in continuing the road safety campaign and integrated ops theme Pandu Cermat Sampai Selamat. On the road safety campaign and integrated operations in conjunction with Chinese New Year 2022 from January 25th to February 8, we said a total of 2,200 JPJ enforcement personnel were mobilized to inspect buses, as well as monitor and patrol roads. We said the driving prohibition on goods vehicles order would be enforced on January 30th, January 31st, February 3rd, and February 4th to avoid the risk of road accidents. The shortage of chicken eggs lately has been a national concern, triggering a panic purchase, coupled with the high demands as the Chinese New Year edges closer. However, a survey by TVS on several retail outlets in Kuching found that the supply are short. Local supplier of chicken eggs said there's no issue of chicken egg running out of stock.
Takat telur kami orang cukuplah, si pernah kekurangan, memang sentiasa ada.
Dan bagi harganya pula, adakah
harganya setakat tu okey lah, sebabkannya masih harga terkawal bahnya si kacau apa-apa harga bah. Macam naik pun si kerjanya si banyak bah, memang biasalah tu kan, masih dapat dikawal lagi.
Local trader understands the issue, but as a trader, they will always find their way to get supplies to meet customer demand.
Mau minta telur, membekalkan telur ya dengan nak ya lah. Di telur ya walaupun harga telur yang mahal. Ya kami orang situ kan berjual guna telur.
Lately, Deputy Minister of Agriculture and Food Industries Dato Sri Ahmad Hamzah said the unpredictable weather conditions were among the factors that contributes to the shortage of chicken eggs. He said other contributing factors were the recent flooding incident and the increase in the price of imported chicken feed. Kapit Bus Express offered zero fare for its bus passengers traveling the Cebu-Kapit in conjunction with the forthcoming Chinese New Year celebration, as well as to mark the launch of the company. The zero fare is also to promote Kapit Town, as many people from other parts of Sarawak, including elsewhere, have heard about Kapit but have never been there.
We have 2 trips from Cebu to Kapit, and another 2 trips is from Kapit to Cebu. That is qualified for the zero fare. Each trip we only have 23 sittings available, which we will be using our VIP coach, and we have very big sofa to welcome you. And the zero fare is based on the first come and first served basis.
With the zero fare rate, the company hopes that those who want to visit Kapit should grab this opportunity. Meanwhile, Lim hopes that the Kapit District Council will build bus terminal for the convenience of passengers, as buses currently have to park at a temporary site far away from the riverfront. Lim said the current bus parking lot approved by the council is not safe for bus parking and also the passengers.
Foresee in the coming 20 years to 30 years, bus transportations will still be very important for a society and also for Malaysia as well. As we can look into other countries, for example, India, they have a large and long histories, and until today, they still have their bus transportation serving the need of the populations. Let's look at the UK. Until today, they still have public transport, especially the bus transportations. So I think bus transportation is still here with us in the coming futures.
On another note, the company have installed USB outlets to each seat so passengers can charge their phone while resting on the bus. Besides that, the bus have DVD player, Bluetooth player for their entertainment, VIP sitting with big sofa chairs so they can rest and have a safe journey. Lim said the Kapit Bus Express plans to add more buses to ply the sector, where 2 units were added yesterday, while another 3 more are still in Kuching, undergoing registration and will be available in early March.
This week, TVS brings you a film inspired by true story. When a young Vietnamese Australian thug botches a gangland assassination and runs into a serious debt with his triad,
10 grand down on last month.
His younger brother is forced to embark on a harrowing drug run from Vietnam to pay off the mob bosses.
Do a job for us.
Put your hands up!
miss out Trafficker, Saturday, 29th January, 8:45 p.m. on TVS Channel 122 Astro and My TV.
Kami itu siapa? Ya, dipikir sesuatu.
Tapi settle case tu kan.
What an awkward moment.
Semua tahu kena kami lihat. Terima kasih banyaknya.
Dah.
Suarain masyarakat. Kami nak buta betul. Buta akin.
Pakai.
Welcome back. The tourism industry worldwide took a massive hit due to the global lockdown that prohibited domestic and international travel. Last year, Malaysia received some 8 million tourists compared to 26 million tourists in 2019, a year before the pandemic hit. Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Datuk Sri Nancy Shukri, however, is in the opinion that as travel restrictions ease, Malaysia should focus and give emphasis on its ecotourism destinations.
Indeed, the pandemic was challenging, but it acted as a pause button and gave us time to think seriously about what is it about Malaysia that makes us unique. Now, we hope that we are reaching the end of the tunnel, and the opening of Malaysia is on the horizon for everyone around the world to come. Ladies and gentlemen, as a nation, we have also grown in line with the National Tourism Policy 2020 to 2030. I have seen the industry players' hard work in changing the tourism scene through various means, from maximizing digital platforms to enhancing their products and services innovatively and creatively.
Nancy said so at the launch of the Dream Malaysia video, a collaborative project between Tourism Malaysia and GoPro on Wednesday. The project aims to promote the beauty of its flora and fauna as well as majestic tourism destinations throughout Malaysia.
Many attractions in Malaysia have been around but have yet to be discovered. And there is no better time than now to explore such new places. Through GoPro, we want to bring a unique perspective and immersive content for adventurers in Malaysia. I hope the creative collaboration will reminisce both our domestic and international tourists of Malaysia's known and hidden wonders.
Dream Malaysia involves a cooperation between multiple agencies focusing on digitalization in boosting the national tourism industry. Now, families or guardians are allowed to visit prison inmates from February 3rd to 7th in conjunction with the Chinese New Year celebration. The meetings can be implemented through two options, via a virtual meeting or face-to-face for fully vaccinated visitors. The prisons department said an inmate was only allowed to receive one visit from family members, and visits are only allowed for visitors who make an appointment. Bookings for visits can be made through the iVisit system on the website at www.prison.gov.my, via telephone or by writing an email or letter to the institution. Each session will be capped at 30 minutes, which could vary based on the situation at the prison, and only 2 visitors from each family are allowed. Meanwhile, for visitors over the age of 60, they will only be granted permission to visit if they are in good health and without symptoms. In the meantime, face-to-face meetings for the Prison Reintegration Center and Henry Gurney School must follow the new norms and guidelines. The public may contact the relevant prison institutions for more information, and their contact details are available on www.prison.gov.my. An attempt to abuse subsidized diesel was foiled by Penang Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Ministry with seizure of 2,800 litres worth more than 6,000 ringgit in a raid at a petrol station in Jalan Bukit Tengah at 6:30 a.m. on Wednesday, following a public tip-off and intelligence gathered over the past month. Its director, Muhammad Rizwan Gapar, said 2 individuals were detained during the raid. A man in his 30s was caught filling diesel into a lorry fitted with a modified tank using 2 fuel-pumped nozzles at the petrol station. Meanwhile, also detained was a female staff at the petrol station in her 40s. He said a check on the purchase receipt found that the lorry, which usually has a capacity of 100 to 200 litres of fuel, had been filled up with subsidized diesel worth 6,582 ringgit and 85 cents. Mohammed Rizwan said the lorry driver was detained for failing to show any valid documents to buy the subsidized goods. They also seized a tanker lorry and 2 mobile phones to assist in the investigations under the Control of Supplies Act 1961. The new and improved Standard Operating Procedures SOPs for Umrah will be finalized after being closely scrutinized by several relevant agencies.
Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Datuk Sri Nancy Shukri said SOPs relating to quarantine orders for Umrah pilgrims were among those being looked into by the agencies.
Perkara-perkara teknikal macam ni lah kita perlu bincangkan lagi, dan kita perlu kalau boleh kita nak insurans daripada pihak kita supaya dia mengambil kira semua ini. Jadi inilah di dalam SOP yang perlu kita tentukan dan belum kita dapat muktamadkan lagi ya. Sebab itu kita umum awal supaya mereka bersedia, pihak kita bersedia juga, setiap yang terlibat akan bersedia ya.
Commenting on the confusion that arose in regards to the continuation of the Umrah flight on February 8th, Nancy said that it will not necessarily be implemented on the same date as there are various things that needs to be considered. On Wednesday, the Cabinet decided to allow Muslims to resume Umrah pilgrimage from February 8 after Umrah travel was suspended since January 8, following the increase in COVID-19 Omicron variant cases. On the compensation claimed by Umrah pilgrims affected by the suspension, Nancy said MOTAC was in the midst of discussing the matter with Tabung Haji on the compensation payment mechanism.
Tapi ada juga yang belum lagi terbang. Jadi kita kena telitikan. Sebab sebelum itu kita serahkan kepada pihak MOF. Jadi sekarang ini MOF minta supaya kita MOTAC ni berbincang secara terperinci dengan pihak tabung haji. Dia tidak diberi duit macam tu.
She told reporters after the presentation of Malaysian traditional costumes under the Cultural Diplomacy Program on Thursday.
Saya Fiza Wok. Bersama saya dalam rancangan Tony Lapa. Eksklusif di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan di My TV. Jangan lupa.
Kami itu siapa? Ya, dipikir sesuatu.
Tapi settle this stop one.
What an awkward moment.
Semua tahu kena kami lihat. Terima kasih banyaklah. Dah. Suai masyarakat. Kami nak buta kotor. Buta atin. Pakai.
Thank you for staying with me. The Prime Minister, Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob, held a meeting with the top leadership of the Badminton Association of Malaysia or BAM, Malaysian badminton ace Lee Zijia.
The meeting was held at Perdana Putra this afternoon, and BAM were led by their president, Tan Sri Muhammad Norza Zakaria, and his two deputies, Datuk V. Subramaniam and Datuk Sri Jahaberdin Muhammad Yunus. Also present at the meeting was national women's single ace and former world junior champion Goh Jinwei. A statement on Ismail Sabri's official Facebook revealed that a fruitful discussion has been achieved following a dispute that shocked the world of badminton. He hopes that the badminton scene will continue to excel on the world stage.
Jordanian soldiers killed 27 smugglers as they tried to cross the border from Syria with large quantities of amphetamines during a snowstorm. Others were also carrying drugs fled back into Syria during the attempt. This is one of an increasing number of such incidents over the past year that had led the army to toughen its rules of engagement with smugglers. The army has also found large quantities of drugs, most commonly an amphetamine known as Captagon, hidden in Syrian trucks passing through Jordan's main border crossing to the Gulf region. Jordanian officials said Lebanon's Iran-backed Hezbollah group and militias who control much of southern Syria are behind the surge in smuggling. Hezbollah denies the accusations. Captagon has a thriving market in the Gulf. UN drug experts say that Syria, shattered by a decade of civil war, has become the region's main production site for drugs also destined for Jordan, Iraq, and Europe. Now wrapping up the Nightline, thousands of fish have died from coal in a lagoon in northwestern Greece after a heavy snowstorm crippled the country this week. The dead fish, old sea bream and white sea bream, appeared early on Tuesday, January 25th, after temperatures in the lagoon had dropped as low as 0 degrees Celsius. Local ichthyologist Konstantinos Perdikaris from the Department of Fisheries, who visited the lagoon on Tuesday, said the fish died from thermal shock. He said the sea bream species are sensitive to low temperatures and cannot survive below 4 degrees Celsius. The fishes were at a shallow depth where the coal was quicker to penetrate the water. The fishes belong to a local fish farm, and due to their containment in an enclosure in the lagoon, they could not swim out to the deeper depths of the lake or sea to survive.
Κάθε χρόνο τα απελευθερώναμε στη λίμνη, αλλά εφέτος δυστυχώς δεν προλάβαμε να κάνουμε την απελευθέρωση, γιατί μας έπιασε ο παγετός στον ύπνο προφανώς.
The fish farm contained more than 600,000 fish of various species, and a fish farm cultivator estimates that some 50 tons of fish were destroyed while other species were not harmed.
Η καταστροφή είναι πολύ μεγάλη. Ο όγκος της εκτιμάται γύρω στους 50 τόνους σε νεκρά ψάρια.
And that concludes the Nightline for tonight. With that, I'm Handy Gui. Stay safe and have a pleasant evening.